Around this time last year, I put out my first single as Juniper. This was huge to me, the start of something new and a promise to myself after completing architecture school to commit to being a full-time artist, something that I really wanted to do for a long time. Today I wanted to reflect on this past year and try to shed some light, I guess, on balancing my experience as an artist and having my work-life balance. This project was a huge change for me. I just turned 24 a few days ago. And this is around the time of your life when you're too old to be in the safety of your family and people that protect you, but also too young to be really doing anything in the big leagues. And my peers and the people around me were doing some really big things. They were studying PhDs, they were doing full-time jobs. I was really conflicted for a long time, but I wasn't an idealist either. I knew that the sort of artist life or the ideal lifestyle is just a projection online, and that is not something we can really aspire to. Everything you see online is very curated, and the truth is everyone has support. I have a lot of support behind me, and all of your favorite creators do as well. I feel really lucky to be supported and surrounded by a lot of different types of people, and as an Asian kid, having supportive parents and a supportive family is really important as well. So that was really great. But this also meant that I had to be very careful with my decisions because I have a big responsibility to myself, my family, and I have to work 6 part-time jobs at the moment to make life work for myself while doing Juniper as the main music project. Luckily for me though, a lot of the work that I've chosen to do part-time cross-pollinates with the main artistic project, and I think this is a really key part of why it felt so good. For instance, I do freelance photography and graphic design, and by doing those things, it helps me enforce my strengths in doing the visuals for my music. And this is one of the big things I've learned. Having creative control over your project is everything. The ability to envision the whole project and all angles of it. And this includes the visual media. For instance, I think visuals are really important in music. You think of the album covers, you think of the videos, you think of the era, the color palette, the style. Having used the Adobe suite in architecture school, I've gotten really comfortable with making the visuals for my music. I actually need to make a poster for an upcoming gig I'm playing in Hong Kong, so I'll show you a little bit about my process creating the visuals. Whenever I need to make cover art or a live show poster, the Adobe suite is always my go-to. Photoshop in particular really helps me get the right vibe from my image, and in this case I'm going to use it to do a couple of things. Firstly, I'm going to use generative expand to make it the right size and fit the dimensions, and secondly I'm just going to select this microphone and using the AI tools remove it so it's less of a distraction. This might be one of my favorite new features. Suggested actions gives me suggestions on how to improve my image in just a few clicks and applies those effects directly. Super helpful for fast tracking my process. This is me spot cleaning my face. I'm going to add some text as well in the color of the venue's logo. I'm just going to put it behind the smart selected subject layer. Okay, so it's coming together, but the background was a bit plain to me, so I can just select this corner and using generative fill, add some ornaments to it. Very seamless. I really was surprised by how good the reflection on the keyboard was for this plant. As for the lamp, I'm just going to use a light opacity brush to give it some glow and integrate it more to the picture. And there we go. We started off with this really simple image and made it our gig poster for our upcoming show. Check out more on Photoshop's new features with the link below. It's stuff like making your own posters, emailing venues, and managing social media posts that a lot of artists forget or don't realize is part of the job. The process of art is so far away from what it is portrayed in social media, in literature, in film. It's not always a breakthrough, it's not always glamorous, it's not always successful. Sure, there are romanticized moments of like a well of creativity coming up or just having inspiration, but those moments are also cut by a lot of self-esteem issues and self-doubt and ego problems. Earlier this year I played my first show in my hometown of Hong Kong, and it was a huge step for me. I just put out my EP and it was doing well, but it had a small and supportive audience, so I was ready to step into this realm of live performance. I didn't really know what to expect doing that though. Zero stage rehearsal, no idea who's gonna show up, never played these songs live before. I remember designing the set at home on my laptop, and there would always be thoughts of self-doubt, like, what if not enough people show up? What if I make some embarrassing mistakes or forget my songs? But strangely, as the date got closer, I became less worried. I think I built this to be a really big thing in my head, as a lot of creative people tend to do. But when I got there and I was actually playing the songs, I tried really hard to remind myself that this was me trying and that it was okay and no one would really judge me critically for that. We ended up selling out the entire venue, and the show turned out to be even better than I could have imagined. After that night came a lot of withdrawal. I started thinking to myself if I would ever be able to reach that level again, if there were any higher highs in my music career. And I feel like a lot of self-conscious creatives struggle with this as well. Something I've realized during the past year making music is that you can't expect yourself to be this machine that just constantly drills at the rock and like finds stuff that works, because you have to go out and experience life. If you don't experience life, what is your art even about? Did some traveling, spent more time with friends, and just enjoyed the smaller things in life as well, taking time out to be with myself. And this last one in particular is something I'm still really struggling to do, because I really like the idea of like, oh, the hustle, the work, put in the energy, and I forget that you need to recharge, and those moments will find you as long as you're open-minded about them and keep looking. I still needed to figure out work though. The reality is I need to make a living, and I realized that some of the work I was doing wasn't giving me either the income I needed or the fulfillment, which is really important, because I found myself being very drained sometimes, going home and not even wanting to touch any of the instruments or open up my project files, and that really killed it for me. But those moments of creativity come at some of the most random of times. Sometimes a conversation with someone, sometimes a coffee alone, or when I'm on a walk. And it's during those times that I feel something and I go, oh, that's a feeling I haven't translated musically yet. And that's when I feel a little bit of the spark coming back. The creative process will always tempt you, I feel like. It will always want to tell you things or discourage you. And there's always this looming voice saying like, get a real job, or nothing you do is going to really be that great. And to that, I would have to always remind myself that by doing it, by practicing it, art is a practice. By doing it, you naturally are creating your own small pocket of fulfillment, and you're creating success on your own terms. No amount of external validation can make you feel that, and only you have the ability to do that. And slowly but surely, I am also starting to be able to feel that. Just a little over a month ago, I played a show here in Melbourne with 2 Asian artists as well. There were 100+ people at the venue, and there was even a little line of people asking for merch, signatures, and photos at the end. It was really sweet, and I think that's when I felt happiest, when I felt a real human connection between everyone in the room. So whatever form of creativity you practice, don't give up. Know that there's no such thing as success or failure. It's entirely what you make of it. I hope you guys feel more confident. Keep doing what you're doing and keep doing the things you love. Remember, ars longa, vita brevis. Art is long, life is short. I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, go make some art. Like now.